Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host today. And today is 22nd of November 2023. And as usual, we would start with introductions. If there are any new participants, feel free to introduce yourself. I'm not sure we have anyone who wasn't here before. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, Pierre Cragu from Orange. I'm mainly here because of the discussion we had with Stephen Hardy and Adam on the use of DHCP-less provisioning and the modification for either data template or introducing a new custom resource, but probably not the topic for today.
Hello, welcome, Pierre. We can discuss that shortly. I maybe even I might be able to show this document that Stephen has started to prepare. Just 1 second, I will write it down. I will get the work in progress proposal later when somebody is presenting. Okay, I think no one else, so we can continue. So please remember that the meeting is recorded. If you are watching the YouTube video and you are new to the project, feel free to check out the issues on the project with Help Wanted label. You just feel free to pick one and work on that. If you feel your organization would benefit by adding itself as an adopter, that would be a great help for us to gauge the adoption of Metal3. If you want to do that, please feel free to create a PR and extend this adopters.md in the Metal3 docs repository. Just add another row and as the others, like some description about how you are using it. I'm waiting for one company who might add itself, but I haven't heard back from them recently. Let's see. And I sadly heard few organizations who are not allowed to add themselves, but they are actually using us, using our project. But yeah, that's how things go. Other than this, if you think you have hit a flake with your automated tests, so you feel that the error in your test is not related to your changes, then feel free to add it to this Metal3 CI tracker project. You can do it from any repository, and no special permissions are needed, and then the maintainers and the people who are working on the CI has access to this page, and they can track these issues. And the next one is the incubation proposal. We are progressing with this, even though I don't think the content has been extended recently, but this has now, at least in our team, it has been prioritized. And Kashif has reached out to the CNCF TOC and asked about how can we get a sponsor, but then good news, we don't need a sponsor. They will assign a sponsor automatically after we have submitted our proposal. And then Tuomo has also promised to work on this security part, as he's our security lead on the project. So he will extend the security parts, but he's away in the second part of this week. But next week probably he will work on that. And then I see the progress both around the BMO release and versioning and API maturity and everything. So thank you everyone who worked on that, or on the ironic image. I see there the progress also with the proposal and the version pinning and everything. So we are progressing, I think, with this. And I will talk a bit more about this later. And then feel free to check out all the dashboards and tests, periodic tests and whatnot that I have listed here. Okay, so we can continue on with the working group updates. And from the ironic scalability, I've seen that Dimitri, you have added quite a lot of things.
Yep, thank you. Hello, folks. Quite a lot of things. So I had some time last week, and I finally got Ironic Operator to a stage where it provisions something reasonable. I haven't actually tested deploying nodes with that, so there may be some stupid bugs, like some misconfiguration lurking here and there, but it deploys the setup that I want to see. And I got some first stab at how distributed architecture will be looking. Right now it's all non-distributed, but it supports MariaDB already. It supports putting ironics in daemon sets. I have a bit of questions about, like unsolved questions about DNS mask and JSON RPC. So if you click on the second link there, no, actually, not here, actually the third. So this is architecture guide. You can open it for people to just take a look. It describes in very brief terms what I actually deploy at this point. But if you click on the third link, so this is a tracker for distributed work. And you see it has roughly 5 points where I'm struggling a bit to find the right solution. So anyone who actually has opinions on this is very welcome to join this. I'll be reading the comments, and if you want to, we can also discuss on some meeting in the future and have some thoughts. And yeah, so ironic operator can be played with at this point and can be hacked on. And I'm going to prepare a demo, and after this demo, I'm going to prepare a proposal to formally include ironic operator on the Metal3 IO governance. Yeah, that's it for me. Any questions here?
Just wanted to say thank you. I'm very interested in this, and I will try to make some time to discuss it and let others know that this is available now for testing. Related to the iPixie, because I worked with that recently, we might end up in a situation where the project would be better off with an additional like iPixie operator or something similar. Because if you remember, we also had these discussions about what if the machine has no BMC, and then we shut down that discussion. We were not planning it, but it's coming up and up and up again from different people that how cool would it be to demo MetaCube on Raspberry Pis from the topics, to how cool would that be to demo it on ARM servers that has no BMC, or edge devices that has no BMC. So this could be a very long discussion related to the iPixie part.
Yeah, I'm not immediately sure how it's related to iPixie specifically. I mean, we can do that in Ironic right now with huge caveats that are linked to stuff like you can provision, but you cannot deprovision.
Exactly.
Which is arguably also solvable. So we have prior art in Ironic, and it has nothing to do with iPixie specifically. As of course, it relies on iPixie because that's the only way we can boot things when we don't have BMC control. So yeah, I'm happy to open this discussion. I'd probably avoid tying it to the ironic operator discussion right now. But yeah, iPixie is a problem when you have one DNS mask and you have several ironics. So the configuration will be provided by one of the ironics. How does iPixie know which one? So that's the key problem here. We either try to deploy DNS masks also in daemon sets and make sure like all of the nodes have DNS mask, but it doesn't cancel out exactly the problem that it may land on a random DNS mask, right? We cannot, if we don't have like a very fine control of the BMC, like very fine, which we don't currently do, we cannot tell it go boot from this DNS mask. It's not a thing, right? It will DHCP and it will get the first DNS mask to respond, and essentially it's a race. So the first to respond will win. That may be not the DNS mask responding to ironic, which is handling this node. So that's the thing that is worrying me here. I can elaborate later on, maybe, so we don't spend time on the meeting or at the end of the meeting if you want to. But that is the biggest issue right now with the distributed architecture. Then there are some technicalities around JSON RPC and TLS. Again, I'm welcoming any ideas, especially I know you have a different TLS stuff from ours. But that, again, just leave a comment, we can talk.
Yep, sounds good, sounds good. Anyone else? Okay, I guess then, thanks. I hope I will have time to read more about this. Ironic scalability, yep, and then demo comment. Okay, okay, this is still the ironic operator. Have we discussed this HE stuff? Oh yeah, again, I have opened this. Okay, so then the discussion topics. First one is from me. This incident response is still going on with the whole network architecture behind the Metal3 CI. On the weekend, there was a big test during the whole weekend that our cloud provider was doing. We still have not received any news that what was the result of that. What we done last week, Mohammed did a few very nice tests, and he managed to verify that even as we suspected, even the SSH issue was a TCP issue, and now we have like tangible evidence, not just our suspicion. So all the issues that we have seen that are happening during these breakages are basically the connection goes off, the layer 2 connection goes away from a very limited time, like 1 second or 2, it comes back. You can ping the node, you have connection, but then the TCP communication goes away for a longer period of time, and then when it comes back to the server, packets arrive from a different destination, like from an unexpected, previously not used port, and so on. So something happens within the cloud infrastructure, and then when the server starts receiving these packets from this unexpected port, it immediately shuts down the communication. It sends this port reset or termination request. And that's it. That's why you see the disconnect errors everywhere in the CI. So we are waiting on the feedback that what is causing this sort of communication going haywire in the background. Yep. And then is there any questions related to this? Anyone who noticed something weird related to this or wanted to ask anything about this? Okay, if not, then we can go forward. Next one, yeah, it's from Kashif. I see Kashif. I wrote it down. Now I see you are here in the meeting. Would you like to talk about this one, the governance?
Yes, thanks a lot for taking it in the agenda. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the idea was to, I'm planning to actually create a community repo for the housing all the governance documents that I think we already have quite a few of them, but it's like just here and there in different repositories. And as you can see, this is one of the examples that one of the incubating project in CNCF has, Istio, and I think have added the example of Cilium. So these are all in the process for required, let's say, for the process of incubation. So just trying to push some of these last moment changes so that we can already, let's say, after these things land and things are looking good, we can go for the PR for the incubation. And not only that, I think the other thing that I wanted to do is to also add a roadmap in the GitHub project. And the initial content for that would be the outcome of the first meetup that we had earlier this year. I can just add those items in the roadmap just to showcase that what are the plans, future plans and roadmap for the project. If there are any comments or suggestions on this, feel free to ping me or reply on here or any which way is possible. But yeah, I think the whole thing that this is going to do is to drive the project towards the incubation application. And in that note, I should also inform that I reached out to the CNCF TOC members because I had an impression that we had to find a sponsor for that. But then I found out that the process has changed, and now the sponsorship is something which is automatic. We have to open a PR, and it has to just wait in the queue until TOC picks it up. And then when they pick it up, they automatically assign one of the TOC members as the sponsor. So we are good on that regard as well. Yes, that's the update. Any questions on this?
No, thanks. I just wanted to add that this roadmap, what you planned based on our discussion and what we've seen, it would be like a text file, MD file, because as we have seen, like at least on Claw Monitor, they were expecting this roadmap in that form, not as like a GitHub specific project. So I guess this would be just a roadmap with checkboxes to make it, to keep it simple and not tied to GitHub, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Yeah, I probably then misunderstood. So then I would do so. Thanks a lot for the suggestion.
Okay. Yeah, I think there was nothing else that we have discussed it to this. I think we can go forward if there are no questions. Yep. Next one is that, yeah, this what Kashif already mentioned, and I already mentioned that Kashif figured it out. Yeah, we don't need the sponsors. We will get one anyways. And then the next one is from Dimitri, review request.
Yeah, so I have two patches which together they make BMO agnostic towards presence or absence of ironic inspector. So essentially this idea of BMO being able to live with two inspection implementations. The first patch has been approved, although it's about to fail the CI. I don't yet know why. This one requires an approve label. And yeah, it's about actually, it's a bit like verbose, but it's about separating two very similar but still different formats of inventory. One that comes from inspector, one that's come from the ironic native inspection. So it's a bit of massaging JSONs around, but it's not as scary as it may look at the first glance.
Yeah, I think we have discussed this, that this is part of the gradual change that you are introducing, that we won't have the separate inspector. So I don't think we have any like specific problem with in general with the idea. Let's hope it won't introduce any unexpected flakes or such. Yep, but thanks. This sounds good for me. Is there anyone else who would like to ask something about this?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Can you hear me?
Yep. So
Yes.
not we can.
Yeah. I might forgot. Like I was away quite a while. What was the reason the removing the ironic inspector and merging is like ironic, right? Part of ironic. Am I right?
Probably a fair question would be why Ironic Inspector is suddenly a separate service, really. And the answer to that is historical reasons, because back in 2015 or even 2014, some politics happened, which is absolutely relevant nowadays. But to provide you more specific answers, it's going to have better performance because right now Ironic Inspector has to maintain its own local database where essentially synchronized with Ironic periodically. That puts loads on Ironic API, that gets redundant storage. That's a source of sometimes bugs because when people misconfigure something, they cannot talk to each other and it's very implicit. Also, since it goes through public API, it cannot use things like Ironic level locks, so it hasn't invented its own locking. That's pretty annoying. Generally, code inside Ironic can access some very useful internals that you could not access before that. So memory footprint, of course, smaller because that's another Python service. It's pretty heavy. There are some long-standing bugs in Ironic Inspector which we simply don't want to fix, like that compatibility with new versions of our ORM framework. Yeah, so it is also, Ironic Inspector is very explicitly non-HA. That was actually the driving force for me behind working it in the first place, because like we discussed 10 minutes ago, this effort to provide distributed Ironic in Metal3. And Ironic Inspector essentially is in the way because it has no means of, it has means of running in a clustered mode, but that requires something like Zookeeper, which I'm sure we don't want to deploy on top of all this. So there's numerous reasons, but honestly, yeah, it should not have been like that from the beginning.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very clear for me. Thank you.
Thanks for
welcome.
Thanks for the discussion, folks. Is there anyone else who would like to ask related to this? Okay, if not, then we can, I hope, go and see this, what Steven is doing, and we have been discussing it on the community Slack channel. I haven't read it in full. I was just participating in the discussion with a few of you. And what is going on is that Steven has implemented a way, what we have discussed, how to with a way that we can use, or a feature that we can use to inject pre-provisioning network data, or attach pre-provisioning network data to the BMH, link it rather, reference the secret. And then now there is a discussion going on about how to manage IP addresses and other related custom resources to like integrate this or to provide these pre-provisioning network data throughout the whole chain of custom resources. And feel free to read it. I guess Steven wouldn't mind that the community, more people from the community join the discussion and give their opinion. This is just the draft of the first proposal, and I might come with another new proposal that seemed to be formulating itself based on what we discussed, and that is related to a BMH functionality that I will talk about it later. I don't want to talk about that without any text to base the discussion on. So feel free to read this and join the discussion on the Slack channel. Is there anyone who would like to add anything to it? Maybe you've read it or has some issue with this or like it.
I really wonder at this point, I'm going to say it to Steve, and he's probably not going to be happy about this, but I really wonder if it's better if we actually, on top of all this, introduce a new pre-provisioning image controller, rather than trying to feed Glean into all these pictures somehow.
Yeah, I wrote down my experience with it. With Glean, we've done it. Following the same approach that Steven started to implement. Nowadays we are moving towards clouding it more, but regardless, I think this is still like flexible. Like we can discuss basically anything related to this. Nothing is set in stone at this moment, because at the moment the only thing that was merged is just this ability to reference the secret in the BMH, which I guess we would need anyways.
And I think most of the proposal is around how you provide the information for the network part. Whatever is the tool you're using in the Ironic Python agent, so whether it's Glean or Cloud Init, you still need to find a way to generate those IP address. And one of the main questions is around, do we reuse data templates that are at the level of the cluster API provider, or do we add another custom resource for doing it? Knowing that when you need the Ironic Python agent, you have a BMH that is not necessarily linked with any kind of cluster.
Yep. Yep.
I don't have an opinion on that, to be honest. That's why I'm probably pulling the discussion in a different direction. I probably should not. I'll probably start a different thread on Slack to discuss the Glean issue specifically, because yes, you're right. It's independent. These two things are not dependent on one another.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. My naive approach was that I would have liked on the IPAM level separate CRs for to make it easier for the user to see that what is used during pre-provisioning and what is used during provisioning. So the separate set of pre-provisioning IP pool, pre-provisioning IP claim, pre-provisioning IP. But I would use the same data templates, just extend them to be able to accommodate the pre-provisioning references to the pre-provisioning secrets, like network data secret, what would be generated by the CAPM3 and IPAM negotiations. But yeah, I think we will continue the discussion on that thread and on this issue. Is there anyone who would like to talk about this more? Because I think this is almost the last topic. If not, then we can take it on the Slack and on the HackMD page. And if we go forward, then there is one agenda point from Ricardo.
Yeah, thanks. That's more an announcement. So the proposal for the release branch for the ironic image has been merged. And we are going to cut a new bug fix branch in roughly 1 week, 10 days, something like that. So I expect to have the first release branch for ironic image early in December, if everything goes well.
Sounds good. Very good.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks everyone who participated in this, in the discussions, in the reviews. Is there anything else that folks you want to discuss as part of the agenda before we start with the triaging? There are not many issues on the triaging list.
I just wanted to say thanks to Ricardo for keeping this release branch process forward. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay, if no other topic, then we can check quickly the triaging. I started pre-triaging, so if I remember correctly, this has not been, yeah, this is not moving forward. Then this one again, not moving forward. This one stuck. There was one that I'm looking for. Yeah, here we have something to do. So this was this original issue about the, I believe this is a CNCF security slam or related to CNCF. We discussed it before that we would not participate. I wrote a response, Tumo was involved, Zain was involved, but among the achievements that they listed, which are basically just like these funny names for a set of requirements that we can monitor on Claw Monitor. There were quite good points. We looked into that, and my suggestion would be that I remove this with a new name, not participating in the event, but just security improvements based on the security slam requirements. And we would accept this and we would track our progress, because there is nothing that would contradict our plans. So what things are listed on the Claw Monitor security wise are basically the same stuff that we would like to do. And also Zain noticed that for, I believe, BMO, on the Claw Monitor, there was only the simplified rule set enabled. So if you check, we have, I believe, three or four of these repos linked here. And for some repos, we have a bigger set of requirements compared to others. Like if you look at the BMO, this is just code light. And then we have the MetaCube docs that is community. And then we have the CapM3, which is code, which is a bigger list of requirements. And what this issue was about is just a few of these were combined into achievements, and some users of ours suggested that we should reach those goals. So I think there's no harm in accepting this as a set of security requirements. What do you think?
Yeah, I think +1 for this, because it's anyhow would help the cause for incubation as well. Some of the things are also like very common. One question though, is it something that we want to now do, like this is open where in BMO the issue, but I think it actually concerns other repositories as well inside the project.
Yep. Yeah, we can even start a discussion about that. What would be reasonable to expose here? Because now, for example, IPAM is not here, and IPAM is a core component. Ironic image core component. So I can understand if something like the IP downloader or the utility image is not here, but some stuff I think because if people come here, they might even get the wrong impression about our security posture. So we have been exposed here, so now we have to take care of this anyways.
Yeah.
So this should be up to date.
Is it
in my
only
opinion.
about security, by the way? Because I don't think security is just a part. It
Yeah,
is
best
mostly also
practices.
about, as you can see, governance and roadmap and this and
Yeah.
that, actually.
Yeah, best practices in general, every sort of license, certificates, OpenSSF, everything. Tomo has done the evaluation on this. You can read it. It's among the listed links. Anyways, that's how far are we from getting a badge and a good badge,
Okay.
and so on. So yeah. Okay, so no one is against accepting this, and just want to share, like, I don't know if someone was interested, that here you can see one of our users who is not an official adopter but was willing to disclose itself, and the requirements was coming partly from them. Okay, then I will just accept this. And should I put their help? Yeah, maybe. And I think I will assign Tomo. He's anyways working on this. But also you also, Kashif, so with the governance work.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye.
Okay. This looks good. And then there was one last one. So Node.js implementation, support for removal of Metal3 machine template. This is quite fresh. I haven't seen this. This is the only one. Okay. I see. For me, this seems reasonable. They are using a very different way of deployment compared to how we test things, but this is not really an excuse. What is described here is reasonable. So I'm not sure if it's a bug, but could be.
I think this is a valid use case. We might need to accept and think about it.
Yeah, that's my opinion also. It's sadly we don't have a nice way at the moment for deploying with Helm or similar stuff, but they anyways have a more complex use case.
Is that another project that is not in our adapters list?
Let's see what this is. Sylvia copy cluster. Silva, sorry, Sylva. Oh wow!
It's an early stage project, but it's a telco oriented cluster. It's part of LSN Europe, and
Oh, okay. This I would need some time to understand this. There's quite a few things, but the core idea is, I guess, this. Interesting.
yes, the whole life cycle is managed with Flux and Helm. They are the main component for updating the cluster.
Okay. I tend to accept it. Very different, very new use case, kinda different approach even compared to the copy developers, as far as I heard. In our communities, Helm wasn't that preferred. We had discussions about it, but I see that people are building stuff and deploying it with external like package managers and continuous deployment tools, and we might have to align ourselves with them a bit more to help adoption. For me, this makes sense. Is there anyone who would not like to accept this? And this is it bug? Is it feature? It's yeah, it's more of a bug. Do we have a discussion label? Because we would need more labels. Okay.
Well, in a sense that we are not supporting Helm, I don't see it as a bug actually.
Well,
but, yeah, something of that might.
Yeah, it's not a Helm issue as far as I understand. This is the issue with the fact what happens if we are not deployed through pure copy workflow, and not just Helm, but anything that might adds and removes our resources. And they would expect from us some sort of default Kubernetes behavior, like how like a regular operator or resource would behave when they are experiencing something else. That's how I understand this.
Well, I think the argument is that this is somehow expected to be deployed as using the CAPI components with the way CAPI suggests. So yes, it is allowed. You are allowed to also deploy it differently as any other Kubernetes object, but then that is a separate assumption, right? Well, yeah, I think you have a point as well. So maybe bug.
I think it's mainly related to the GitOps way of operating the cluster.
Yeah, there is no doubt on that one. Yes, yeah. That's agreed that this is something related to the GitHubs. But I was just thinking what that tag that we should put. So, but yeah, I think bug is also fine.
Okay. Should I put anything else? No, I will just accept it. And I will CC some folks who work a lot with the copy level and the go level of these things. Who else? Kashif, can I also add you here?
Sure.
Who else? Was Zane tagged here? I think we should have Zane here also. I think, yeah, let's send this. Okay. Yeah, this was the last one from these, and quickly let me check just the stales. What do we have in stale? Okay, this wasn't, yeah, I can remove the stale. So I guess just no one had time to work with this. Okay. Fix code quality inconsistency. Okay, I will change the assignee here. Or actually Adil. Can we? No, we can have multiple assignees. Wow. Kashif, do you remember this one?
But I was not following. Which one is this?
Cluster deletion hangs for E2 is some flake from the past.
Yeah, I think. Well, there is no way to tell if it is gone or not because of the situation that we have currently in CI.
Yeah,
Let's keep it open until we have some sanity in the CIs.
agree. Okay, let me. This wasn't removed correctly. Okay, so that was all for today. Is there any suggestion, problem, improvement, question, request, anything related to the meeting or to the topics discussed today? If nothing, then thank you for your time and attention, and we will meet next week the same time. And until then, have a nice rest of the day and week. Bye-bye.
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.